Hello guys, in this video we will talk about React, React Native, Angular and Node.js, and I will be replying to your questions because I get a few questions. It's not only one question, but it's a few questions related to Node.js and Angular, for example, one of them. And for example, I get questions like, can I start with Node.js without knowing Angular? For people who already know Angular or Node.js, it might sound a little bit strange because Node.js is some kind of base for Angular, React Native. But for beginners, for newbies, it is really very strange to understand. Also, I have question like which one I should select. React Native or Go language. From my experience, I understand what this question means because as I said, for beginners, it's very hard to understand the difference between front-end, back-end, and even between Node.js and Angular or React. So in this video, we will talk about how we can classify all these technologies and what you need to start with each of them. So let's start. First of all, so I will draw some structure of these languages. So let's make this one smaller. Yeah, and now, so we have here it's a drawing tool. So first of all, I want to put our frameworks. For example, we have Angular, we have React, and they are both JavaScript libraries or JavaScript frameworks. And to use them or to get started with them, you need Node or Node.js, and at least, for example, package management tool like NPM. So before, my suggestion, before learning Angular or React, you should know how to work with Node and NPM. And if we check Node's website, actually, they have really good documentation, so you can start at least with this website, install Node on your machine, and after you have Node, let's move this one here. Yeah. Open new tab. Yeah, I will just show some examples of NPM. Yeah, once you have NPM Node.js installed and you have on your local machine, you can check it, for example, with a Node. I think it was Node, that version. Yeah, you can check version of the Node on your machine with this command. So first you install, and then you can check version of the Node. And also, for example, with NPM, it's a Node package management. You can also use another package management tool like I think it was, yeah, Yarn it's called. It's also a package manager for Node. So if we go back to our structure, let's hide this one. Yeah. So basically what we have Node, and also we can separate even more. So Node is our technology, so I will give some more information on this. And also for Node, you have some kind of tool, which is package manager. For example, if you know Python, for Python it's a pip. For Node it's a NPM or Yarn. So NPM, and another one is a Yarn. It's a sub technologies of the Node. And using this, let's say, package managers, you can install React or Angular or any other Node or JavaScript library. And in this hierarchy, we also have as a base, of course, it's our JavaScript. It's a language, JavaScript. So basically, to start with Angular or React or any other JavaScript-based library, first you need to start with JavaScript. Then you need to know something about the Node, because with Node.js it's possible to use JavaScript on backend, and also it has some structure to JavaScript code. So check this website. And to actually use JavaScript and the Node packages, you will need some kind of package management tool, which is basically NPM or this Yarn package management tool. Back to our let's make it even more bigger. So just to summarize, so short answer to the question, yes, you can start with Node and JavaScript without knowing Angular and React, because these languages or these technologies, they are base for Angular and React. And when you start with JavaScript and Node, you will need, for example, NPM or Yarn to install packages, to manage packages within your Node system, Node framework. And for this, you can get information from this website. And now let's move a little bit further. And let's say you have a question, where is Python in this structure? Or for example, I had a question, what I should learn, Go or React. So let's put these technologies here. In Go, it can be any other programming language. For example, PHP. And in this case, we have a difference, because usually we use Python, Go, let's put PHP, for backend systems. What does it mean? For example, you have a website, and from your by backend we mean the code which for example communicate with your database, get some information, process this information, and then it sends this information to the front end. And usually on front end we have technologies like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We are talking about language JavaScript. So basically, let's for now let's move to another page, just to understand, because and here if we talk as a front end and back end, we have JavaScript, we have HTML, and we have CSS. And usually, let's make them look better. Yep. And usually, let's put naming, we call this part our front end, and we call this part our backend. So if we take backend and talk a little bit about backend languages, of course you have a lot more languages here, for example C# or ASP.NET if we talk only about web part. And of course we have differences between PHP, Python, and Go. So these are more on the same level, I mean PHP and Python, and Go is a low level because you compile code, it's more close to C and C++, but you can of course do web development. But in any way, all these languages, they are usually backend languages, they are backend technologies. And these languages, they are, or technologies, they are front-end. But when you include to this structure Node or Node.js, you can use JavaScript in your backend. So basically, if we go a little bit further, so basically we have here our Node.js, because you can use Node as your backend language and still have JavaScript in your frontend. And if you ask me where we can put Angular and React, so you can basically build all your frontend using React and Angular. So we usually use one of them, but as a technology, let's put to not confuse people. So I will put or, because they are front-end technologies. So you will have, let's say, your Node.js or PHP or Python backend, and you will have on your front-end Angular or React, and using JavaScript and NPM package management and etc., you will build your front-end page and communicate this page with your backend. So that's the difference between Angular and PHP, Python, and Go. when you just started and you get all this information, it confuses you even more. But if you ask me where you need to start, I always recommend that first you start with the basics like JavaScript, HTML and CSS. Then you pick up one of these languages. For just beginning, you can always start with Node.js because it's very close to JavaScript. Of course, we have ECMAScript, different versions of JavaScript, and etc. Because there are a lot of additional languages or technologies, but you can start with Node.js to have a full stack technologies, and then decide if it's enough for you, or you move to Python or Go. Because, for example, in example of Python, you can do data science, machine learning. It will be a little bit hard to do, for example, machine learning or data science in Node.js. That's the difference. Also, for example, if you compare Python, PHP to Go, with Go you can get really high performance systems in your backend, in your code, which is technically not possible with Python and PHP. So for now, I will not go deeper with differences between these languages, but in general, we understand where we have, for example, Node.js and usual JavaScript, and what's the difference, for example, Angular and PHP or Python. So I hope that helps a little bit. If you have more questions, please send them in a comment, or you can send me to Instagram. I will reply to them. Thanks for watching this video, and see you in next one. Bye bye.